Guys, this is M.I. Schloss, Life According to Maria, and I am putting together a wonderful corned beef brisket in a slow roast. Today is the first night of Hanukkah, so I thought I'd make my family a wonderful meal, and I thought I'd film it. So it's such a simple recipe, honestly, that anyone can do it, and I'm going to walk you through it. I'm just off camera. I'm in my kitchen here, so I've got my corned beef brisket that I got at Kroger, and it is, it was about $14.50. It's not that bad of a deal, and it's close to 3 pounds, 2.74 pounds. So I don't know if you can see that there. So that's that ready to go, and I'm going to be cutting that open and getting all that junk out of there and prepping it. So you'll see that. I've already cut my red potatoes. It's just a big bowl of potatoes, and it's going to go on the bottom of the slow cooker. You really want your more consistent and heavier vegetables to be at the bottom of your slow cooker, because that's where all the heat is rising from. So you want your harder veggies to be on the bottom, and then you'll put your meat kind of rested really pretty on top. And I do brown this. I am gonna show you guys how I brown it pretty quickly in the skillet. There's the skillet ready to go, and I'm gonna put a little olive oil in there and get it all done, and then toss it into the cooker here, my little rival crock pot that I've been using for years. And it's got various buttons there: 4, 6, 8 hours, 10 hours. I usually use the 8 hour. I find that to be the easiest for my family. I'm starting this. It's what time is it now? Here, I'll show you guys the clock there. It's about 9:35. So I'm starting it pretty early. So hopefully, what is it, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'll have everything done, and that way we can have a nice dinner. So that's how I time myself. So there's the cooker. Really briefly, I'm using organic beef broth, and I'll show you guys as I'm doing that how I mix that in. I usually dilute it with some water, purified water or distilled water. And I'm using some baby red potatoes, and these are the ones that were chopped up already in the bowl. I've got about 4 left. I think there was enough in the bowl to fit into the crock pot, so I don't want to overdo it on potatoes, so that's good. I got some Simple Truth organic whole carrots, and again, that's from Kroger, so I got a bunch of these, and I'm gonna go ahead and take the outer layer off of it and then chop it up, and I'll show you on video once I get that in the bowl how that looks like. And I've got my onion. I'm going to use 1 whole onion. I've got 2, but that's because I'm going to make latkes also, and I'm going to film that for you guys as well. Latkes is a potato pancake that I use and I make for the holidays. It's a Jewish tradition, so I will be showing you that later. And then celery. That's again, organic. It's celery. I'm going to cut that up. Only about, I would say, 2 to 3 stalks on this. I don't go overboard on my celery because I don't want my stew, my brisket to be too, what's the word? Not juicy, but watery. I find this makes it so soupy that I just, because it contains so much really good, natural juices in it, but you don't want to overdo it. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and start chopping everything up, and then I will come back and show you guys as I am prepping it. So stay tuned. Okay, I'm back. I've done my carrots. As you can see, I've taken the tips off of them. So, the back and the front tips. So they're like that. And I have used the skinning. It's kind of cool. It's a little skinning doodad tool that I use to take the skins off. That's just my little quirk. You'll see the skins are in there, so that'll go down the drain there in a minute. So done that. I'm starting with 8. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8 carrots. They're kind of small. I usually get the bigger ones, but these are kind of skinny and small, so that's why I'm going up to about 8. And I'm going to chop them up and put them in that bowl, so you'll see that in a minute, and that's it. And then so I've got my potatoes done. Next are my carrots, And then I'll come back and do the onions and celery and show you guys just step by step how I layer and combine everything together. Okay guys, next up is the celery. I'm doing actually 4 stalks. I've already done one in here so I could show you where I'm putting it. I'm putting it right on top of the carrots that I just cut up. So that's going in there. Again, I took the tips off of it, washed it well. I usually don't take the skins off of this, and the reason being it's extra fiber and it's crunchy. It doesn't seem to matter putting it into a brisket stew environment like this. So I do leave the the skins the way they are. I don't use the peeler. So I'm going to chop the rest of those up. Going to go into the pot now. Okay guys, I've peeled my onion. I cut it in half, I peeled it, and this is about as fine as I'm gonna cut it. So I cut it 1, 2, 3 this way, okay? And then I turn it and cut it 1 down the center. So basically you're getting 6 chunky pieces. And that's about as thin as I'm going to get in there because I want the flavor. I want the whole flavor. And it is going to be soft enough. People are just going to chew on it. It's no big deal. It doesn't have to be finely diced. So that's my little, secret recipe. That's how Grandma taught me to do it. So that's how I'm doing it. By the way, just to make mention, this is Grandma's recipe. So from the old country, from Hungary, this was the way she made brisket. She didn't use, of course, the slow cooker. She used like a Dutch oven type of thing. But I've just, for the sake of ease, I kind of learned how to do it in the slow cooker. So again, this is the way Grandma told me to do it. That's the way I've been doing it for years, and no one's complained so far. So, thumbs up there for Grandma. All right, so I'm going to put this into this little bowl here. And then I'm going to come back as I'm going ahead and browning the actual brisket in the skillet there. So that'll be the next video. Okay. Okay, guys, back again. I took the brisket out now of the packaging. As you can see, let me pull back a little bit. I have a different cutting board. And the reason being is I did all my vegetables on one type of cutting board. And then that went into the dishwasher. And now I'm using another perfectly clean new cutting board for the meat. I do not mix my vegetable cutting board with my meat cutting board at any time. Again, this is for sanitary reasons. I really highly suggest that you do the same. I just keep them completely separate. Now, so here's the meat. I've rinsed it off. If you can see on the other side, there's quite a bit of fat on it. Quite a bit. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use my knife and trim down a lot of this fat. I will leave some because it does add to the flavor, and you want a really nice juicy flavor to your meat, but you obviously don't need this much fat. This is quite a lot of fat. I didn't see on the packaging because the package obviously was packaged this way, and they kind of hid, which, I'm not happy about, but they kind of hid the fat on the bottom of the packaging, so you couldn't really see it till you took it out. But that's it. I'm going to go ahead and trim that. There's my onions already done. And then I've got my pan ready to go. I've put a little bit of canola oil in there for browning the brisket. That's the first thing I'm going to do, is brown it before I put it into the crock pot. And I just love it when it's browned and seasoned up like that. And I do put a little McCormick on it, on top of this as I'm browning it, just a little bit to add flavor, and you'll see that. Okay, so I'll be back. All right, guys, just wanted to show you how much fat I actually took off of there. That's quite a bit. That's about what I'm going to leave on there. Again, I like a little fat on there just for the flavoring, but all of this is a lot of fat. I mean, look at that. That is slabs of fat there that I took off. Just way too much. I'm not very happy with the way they packaged it, and kind of led you to believe that it was all meat. This is quite a bit. I mean, if you added all this up, this is probably you know, it's probably a pound of fat, just fat quantity. So there's about a pound of that coming off of the overall, meat quantity. So again, I use these two knives to do the fat, defatting, and be very careful when you use knives. Obviously, it's not for the for someone that doesn't know how to do that, but that's it. And then this packet came with it, so I'll put that as some of the seasoning inside the actual crock pot. Okay, so on we go to actually frying this little sucker up. Oh, I wanted to show you guys, the thing I'm adding here is some paprika. I've added that to both sides, and also some McCormick spicy Montreal stick. I personally love this. You can skip this step if you don't want to spice it up too much, but Grandma told me to always use the paprika. We use it on almost everything, so that's that. And flame is on there, so it's going to go into the skillet in another couple of seconds there. There it is. Put that sucker in there. So what we want to do is we want to brown it. We do not want to cook it. This is only a couple of minutes on each side for it to tenderize and brown, and I like to basically make sure it's browned nicely when you put it into the crock pot. You don't want this not browned. It just doesn't look good. It looks just much more flavorful and prettier, and just a great taste that comes out of browning very quickly. So I'll show you once it's browned on one side how it looks like, and once I flip it. Can you hear that meat sizzling in the background? I sure can. Anyway, I put in the potatoes while the meat is browning, and I've done about half of the carrots and the celery, and I'm leaving the other half to put on top of the meat. It's kind of almost like if you think of a lasagna, it's layered. It's got the bottom layers of the vegetables, then you're going to put the slab of meat on top, then you're going to put some more vegetables on it, and the onions. And of course season it in the broth. So just wanted to show you guys that that's what I'm doing, preparing as it's browning on the other side there. First side is done. As you can see, that's about as much browning as I want. You see the top there, guys? It's just a nice brown color. The rest of the meat is still pink in there. And that area is browned up too very nicely. And it all took about, I would say, no more than 2 minutes to brown that one side. So now we've got the second side going, and that's going to be browned up beautifully, and then we're ready to put it in the pot. There you go, it's all in the pot. This is the other side that has been browned. Now you can see, I hope you can see, it looks a little pink on my video, but it really is very browned up looking. The meat has tenderized a bit. I kind of poked it with a fork, and it definitely is much more tender than when I put it in there. And again, I love that McCormick steak, those sprinkles on it, the spices. It really gives it a good flavor and also tenderizes the meat. I've put some onions on the bottom. So now what I'm going to do is, actually I can go ahead and do that. I will pour in, I'm doing it with one hand here. Hopefully this is all going to work out. There you go. Pouring it all over. You don't have to be, you don't have to be all neat and clean. Just get it in there. I don't mean neat and clean. I mean, tidy about all the stuff that's where it's placed. It's all going to blend together very nicely. So there's that. And next we're going to go ahead and get our beef broth in here. Hang on, I'm gonna try to twist it here with one hand. And this is something that I kind of have to eyeball, and by that I mean I don't want this swimming in beef broth, because then you're going to have a soup and really not a consistent flavor to it. So what I'm going to do, if you can see this, I'm going to go ahead and just pour it around here. There we go. And let's see. It's not filling up. I usually like to see it. There, that's about good. I don't like more than that. So I've used about from the weight of it a little less than a half of that box, okay? Okay, I'll do a little more. There you go. And then I will put a little water as needed while I'm cooking it. So I am going to start with a little bit of water, not a lot. And then this meat actually, the gravy of the meat is what I'm trying to say, comes out of that as it's cooking very slowly. And it is going to, there's going to be plenty of juice here. The only reason you're putting the beef broth on and some of the water, and I just use the water to dilute it, is that, you know, just so while this beef is tenderizing and it's starting to do its flavoring, it doesn't get all dried out. And then the vegetables also have a way to cook and simmer and blend in there as you're cooking it up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and put some more water on it. I'll come back and show you how much water I use. And then, you know, the seasonings and the kosher salt, and then we're ready to go. All right, bear with me, guys, because I'm doing this with one hand. Okay, that's the seasoning packet that just went on it. And this is about as much kosher salt as I'm going to be using. And it's just my Morton's kosher salt. You saw that in another video when I did all the salt videos. But, okay, so just basically I'm going to drizzle that all over. And there we go. That should do it. Okay. And then I think I'm going to use a little more paprika. Hang on. Whoop. You never can use too much paprika, as my grandmother said. So that'll give a nice little look to the whole meal there. Hope you can see that. Just putting some in there. There you go. Not to be overdone. And then I'm going to use some black pepper and some bay leaf. So I'll be right back with that. Just plugged it in and it is blinking. I am now going to set it for 8 hours. It is now about 10:30, so hopefully we'll have a good cook time on it. So as I press it, it's going to come into the 8 hours. So that's what I like it to go for. And it's going to be warming up. Now I'm going to be adding my seasoning and stuff before I put the lid on. All right, these are the bay leaves I'm going to use, and it's again just the one that I get. It's Simple Truth Organic Turkish bay leaves, and I got this at Target, I believe, USDA Organic. And I'm starting with 6 of them. I might use a little more, a little less. But what I do, and you have to have the whole bay leaves. Don't use the one that's the powdered or the crushed bay leaves. I really like the whole ones. Again, that's what Grandma used, so that's what I'm using. And I go ahead and I tuck them in. Kind of tuck them into the pot. Just tuck them in like that. You can maybe put one on top there just for the flavoring. And just go all around your pot and tuck it in. I think I am going to use 6 because it's a big pot. There you go. Don't worry if it breaks up a little. I mean, it's no emergency if it does. Just kind of like tuck them in there. There you go. And that's that. 6 will do it. These are very powerful as far as flavoring, so you don't want to overdo your bay leaves. Okay? And I think I'm going to add just a smidgen of garlic powder as well. Sometimes I do a whole clove and sometimes I just do the garlic powder. It doesn't really matter. I just do it for the flavoring a little bit. So there it goes, just a tiny bit. And then the last thing I'm going to do is pepper. Again, I don't overdo it because the seasoning that comes in the packet is already pretty flavorful. So you can skip this step if anyone doesn't like pepper. I like my my brisket well seasoned. So that's how it looks, and I'm going to put just a little more just regular water on top of it. I'll show you, probably about a half a cup, not a lot at all, and then it'll be ready. ready to start cranking away. Okay guys, last but not least, that's the half a cup of water there. I know that's got the milligrams on it here, milliliters, whatever. There it is. You see, it's about 4 ounces. And again, use your judgment. I mean, if it's really watery, you don't want to do that. But I just like to pour it on there. There we go. And that's it. That should do it. And then we're gonna put the lid on. And there's the lid. Going on there. And ta-da! There she is. So she is gonna be doing her magic here for about 8 hours. And once it's done, I will, shoot the video as far as taking it out of the pot and how it looks like. And of course, plating it for you guys so you see the finished product. And along with that, I just want to make mention, let me scoot on over here. I'm going to be making wide egg noodles, and that's what it's going to be, a bed of that on the plate. And then, you're going to cut up your brisket and put your veggies and everything. So it's going to be the noodles with the veggies and the brisket on there. And what I'm planning to do, and I'm not going to, I won't film this because it's just, as a side. It's going to be a vegetable with mushroom soup mix, manischewitz. I know, guys. This has some stuff in it. It's got, well, it's not that bad. Let's see, green peas and barley and yellow peas and lime beans and enriched egg noodle, flour, salt, mushroom, onions. It's got some sugar in it. I know, not the greatest. Carrots. It's got some cornstarch, celery, tomatoes, bell peppers. It does contain some egg, wheat, and sulfites. Again, don't smack me on the head for that, but I'm going to use this as a soup, so this will be like a little appetizer, and I'm going to go ahead and make that. And okay, there's some redeeming qualities. Here you go. No MSG, low sodium, and fat-free. So, not the greatest organic thing, but this isn't going to kill you, honestly, and it's it's all got all the dried ingredients. There's the barley, and there's all the other stuff in it, and the peas, and all the fun stuff, and the mushrooms. So I'm going to add that and make a nice soup, and I'll show you that as a finished product too as well from my kitchen. Okay, so I'll be back in probably about 8 hours and show you the finished products. Hey guys, so here it is. If you can see through there, you can see how it's percolating. You see that? And that is a beautiful brisket that is getting almost done. Look at the percolation in there. You can see that. And it is now, ta-da, about 5:30. So it should be done very soon, probably in another 25 minutes, maybe less than that. So it's still on the 8-hour mark, and it's not blinking. Usually when it reaches that 8-hour mark, it will start blinking that it has shut off, and it goes into the warm mode. So actually this light will turn on after it goes all the way down. So we're just waiting for that, and again, there it is, percolating away. It just looks absolutely, oh my gosh, I wish you guys could smell what it smells like here. It smells so inviting and so good, and we are so hungry and ready to dig into this, but we will wait till it's done. And as soon as it's done, I will be plating it for you guys and showing you how the finished product looks like. So stay tuned. Okay guys, it is ready. As you see, it is on warm now, so it's been 8 hours. So we are done. I'm going to take the top off here, and probably a lot of steam will, a lot of steam's coming out of it, as you can see. And there we are. That is our beautiful, get in there so you can see it without it steaming up my lens. There it is. That is the brisket right there. Absolutely gorgeous. All the vegetables are done in there. There's plenty of liquid in there to put over the egg noodles. And I don't reduce it down. Some people do. They put some flour in there and actually reduce it down, but I don't. I like it like this, actually. There are the carrots. Look at that. It is steaming hot, piping hot, and ready to go. So we are going to serve that up on a dish and show you actually the finished product, okay? All right, awesome. All right, this is it. Brisket is all done. Look at that. Look at that steam coming up from there. Is that gorgeous or what? So there it is. I'm going to put a little sauce on it now, but I just wanted to show you guys how it looks like without the sauce, but I am going to put some, some of the flavoring in the sauce that's at the bottom of the pan, but there it is. Absolutely beautiful. All ready to serve. So you can make it anytime you want. Of course, we make it around the holidays for Hanukkah and New Year's and special occasions, but obviously you don't have to put your crock pot away for forever. Just utilize it as best you can and feed your family well. Anyway, that's it. So blessings to everybody, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
And when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, then dreidel